All right, y'all. So today is October 20th, 2025. And today I am going to be taking my first dose of Enclomiphene. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little scared of taking this moving forward, just for the simple fact that I've never done this shit before and I won't be touching like gear or TRT. I'm definitely not touching gear, but TRT probably until like I'm like 30, 35. I'm 27 right now at the time of this recording, and I'll probably go more in depth as to why I decided to give this a shot in the YouTube video that I'm making. But I just wanted to record this as my first day of taking it. And I'll be taking this probably for the next 6 weeks, depending on how this goes, maybe for the next few months even. But let's see here. So here we got, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we got 50 milliliters, which is about 6.2 milligrams, if I got my math correct. But here we go. I've spent the last 50 days taking Enclomiphene, and in today's video I'm going to be going ahead and answering all of your guys' questions in the sense of why did I decide to take it, what benefits did I experience any side effects, do I regret taking it, and do I recommend this to other men, as well as I'll be showing you guys a before and after blood test results of me taking it for about 6.5 weeks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dive into the video. So the first question that you're probably wondering, Maz, why did you decide to take Enclomiphene? And to be very honest with you guys, I've spent the last little over a year now being very, very obsessed with trying to increase my testosterone, because as my life is going on, I'm starting to notice with me aging very slowly, slow down in the sense of like I've been noticing my energy levels aren't super consistent in my day-to-day. No matter how much I optimize my sleep, I am still tired on some days. But more importantly, I've been experiencing quite a lot of brain fog these last few months, as well as my motivation for life being very, very low. And so with that, I went down the rabbit hole of trying to not only research all the different natural ways and hacks to increase my testosterone, and to no avail, I haven't seen any sort of progress when it came to me being better. And so I decided to go ahead and see if any of these natural things and these hacks that a lot of these guys share online, I wanted to see if it actually worked for me. And so I went ahead just before I started taking this, a little over a month before, get a blood test done. And once I got my results back, my testosterone came back to about 519 nanograms per deciliter. And I know to a lot of you guys watching this, you're probably thinking to yourself, Maz, that's actually not that bad. You know, you're not on the super high end, but you're definitely not on the super low end. You're pretty much damn near in the middle of the normal range. And while I may agree with you, I didn't feel like 500 tests. I feel like I was on the lower end in terms of like how I was operating and how I was feeling as a man. And so after trying all these natural ways of increasing my testosterone still came back to that, and I wasn't feeling well. And so what I decided to do is, shortly before I decided to fully commit to taking Enclomiphene, I did loads and loads of research, as well as consult quite a few of my friends that were anywhere from actual medical professionals to pro bodybuilders and retired pro powerlifters that have tried every single pharmaceutical drug that you could think of in the fucking book. I came to the general consensus from what they have told me and for myself is that if you've already tried all the natural remedies and your testosterone still did not increase, or you feel like it did not increase, but you don't necessarily have the financial means, nor do you want to make it a habit to pin yourself once or twice a week with TRT and or gear, they all said Enclomiphene was the happy medium that you would be able to get. And so with that said, I decided to go ahead and make the commitment. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Maz, did you experience any benefits or any side effects while you've been running Enclomiphene? And I'm glad you asked, because I went ahead and documented for you guys every 2 weeks of how I was feeling. And so at the 2-week mark, the benefits that I was experiencing were very, very, very subtle. So it's been about 2 weeks now since I've started taking Enclomiphene every single day at a conservative dose of 6.25 milligrams. And in terms of have I experienced any benefits, so far I've noticed very subtle benefits, such as my energy levels being consistent on a daily basis, a slight increase in my libido, but more importantly, I've been noticing the motivation for me wanting to do more with my life. I've noticed I've become a lot less lazy in a sense. But other than that, I haven't noticed like any of the other benefits that people say. But we'll have a much more clear picture of what's going on with me as the weeks continue to progress. Other than that, that's it for me being 2 weeks in. I'm gonna keep you guys posted. And then at the 4-week mark is when the benefits were starting to really kick in. So today is November 17th, 2025, which marks exactly 4 weeks since I started taking Enclomiphene. And so I don't remember quite exactly what I said in the last clip, which was me 2 weeks in. And I didn't want to go back and watch it because I want to give you guys an authentic, like no BS review. And so now that we're here at the 4-week mark, there is a couple of things that I've actually started to notice now that I didn't notice when I was just 2 weeks in. So number one, I've noticed that for some odd reason, I don't know if it's because between the 2-week mark and now, I've been dealing with more stress, but I've noticed that I've also been a bit more angry here and there, and I have a lot more aggression when it comes to not only when I'm training in the gym, but when it comes to me like approaching and tackling life. And then another thing that I have noticed is my energy levels have been much more consistent and stable in my day-to-day life, and that is something that I really wanted. My strength in the gym is another thing that I've noticed has been maintaining really well. And then the last thing that I have noticed is my libido has increased. But other than that, that's the update that I have for you guys at the week 4 mark. So I'll see you guys at week 6. And then at the 6-week mark, which I'm surprised that I didn't record a clip of, I've just been cruising since week 4 of me experiencing all the benefits. But in some of these clips, I did not mention all of the benefits that I actually experienced, so I'm gonna go ahead and list them off for you right now. Way more energy, more mental clarity, more motivation for life, a higher sex drive, better recovery, slightly better sleep. And then on top of that, if you're wondering if I experienced any like physical benefits when it came to my physique, I'm gonna be very honest with you, it's very hard for me to tell, because like I said in these last few clips, I've been dieting the last, as I'm recording this video, now I think 7 or 8 weeks, maybe 9. I'm kind of losing track, I'm gonna be honest with you. And so with me being in a calorie deficit and me getting leaner, it's hard to tell if the diet or the Enclomiphene is doing more of the work. But the one thing I will say though is, even though I am still pretty early on in my cut, I would say, because usually my cuts last a pretty good amount of time, I have noticed with the diet that I've been on, that my coach gave me, and with me adding this, it has definitely been making it a lot easier to get lean. So I guess you could technically say yes, it has helped in terms of like my physical in me getting leaner, but for me, in my experience, it hasn't been like an obvious substantial difference. And now, did I experience any side effects? So if you happen to have done your research on Enclomiphene, or if you go on the internet and you actually look it up, there's hardly any side effects. The only side effect that you're potentially going to experience is your growth hormone or your IGF-1 being cut in half. But with that, you can't really tell unless you get like a blood test done. And with me saying that, we're going to go ahead and segue into what my blood test results were after. So today is December 4th, 2025. This past Monday, December 1st, marked 6 weeks. And so just today, because your boy procrastinated a little bit and didn't schedule his blood test on time, I went ahead this morning and got my blood drawn for my testosterone just to show you guys a before and after. And literally about an hour ago, got my results and I haven't opened it yet. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look together and see if this thing even makes a fucking difference, because to be quite honest, since the last update, I haven't necessarily felt any different. I've just been cruising since that last clip that I showed you guys. But here we go. So you guys see right here, testosterone. This means I had not opened it yet. So let's go ahead and see if this whole Enclomiphene thing works. And my results. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck? Yo. Yo, this shit actually works. Mind you, I just want to give a quick heads up. Number one, I'm on a cut right now and I'm down about 9 pounds. I'm in a pretty good caloric deficit. And as you guys know, when you're dieting, your hormones aren't as optimized. And number two, my dosage that I've been taking is very conservative. I've been taking half of the recommended, but my testosterone came back to, I don't know if you guys can see it, 977. Before this, my test was at 519. That's insane. I can only imagine if I was like eating at maintenance or in a slight calorie surplus and I was optimizing my diet for actual testosterone and I upped the dose to like a normal dose, I can only imagine what the number would be. But the fact that I'm dieting and I'm doing half of that and my test shot up like over 400 nanograms, that's fucking insane. But yeah, there you guys have it. Does this shit work? Clearly it does. I'm just in shock right now because, wow. Like, dude, I've done everything in the book to try and like optimize my testosterone before I decided to test this out. Not only for myself to see if all of the talks were true, but also for you guys, because I thought about making a video of this shortly before I started taking it, because why not? You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are watching this that are probably on the fence of potentially taking this if you don't want to take TRT quite yet. But there you have it. After a little over 6 weeks, those were my results. So, does this shit actually work? I'm gonna be honest, as I'm recording this clip, I just crossed the 7-week mark. For the first, I would say about 4 weeks, like you saw in some of the previous clips, I didn't really notice too much of a benefit. It was very, very subtle. But right around, I would say, the 5.5 to 6 week mark, and up until I'm recording this clip now, I've now realized that I've been experiencing quite a lot of good benefits, I would say, these last almost 2 weeks. Like, to be honest with you, and this is going into my next question, if I have any regrets, I absolutely do not regret taking Enclomiphene and running this little experiment and treating myself as a guinea pig, because I'm gonna be honest with you, these last 2 weeks, for me at least, when it has come to my motivation for life and my clarity, but more importantly, as well as my productivity and my work ethic and my energy, it's been fucking life-changing. Like, I now understand why guys feel inclined or feel obsessed to increase their testosterone and even potentially go towards like the extreme ends of doing so, even though I personally don't recommend you do that, especially if you're like in your early 20s. But I definitely understand it now, because with my testosterone increasing 450 nanograms from 519, a little bit over 450, from 519 to 977, it's fucking life-changing, bro. Like, I operate completely fucking different. And now, before I go ahead and I address the final question of if I recommend this to other guys out there, I just want to go ahead and quickly say, if you guys are probably wondering what my plans are for the future, I do plan on running this probably until the end of my cut. And then the last thing that I want to go ahead and get into before I wrap up this video is, do I recommend for you other guys out there watching this to take Enclomiphene? I do, under one condition. And this is something that most of these influencers are not gonna fucking tell you. They're just gonna get to the point and try to push it onto you. I only recommend you take Enclomiphene if you did exactly what I did, which was you tried every single natural way, damn near every single way that you possibly could to increase your test. And then if you happened to get your blood work done and you're still not happy with not only what you see on paper, but with how you're feeling and how you're moving in your day-to-day, only after you've done those things do I then recommend you potentially try this out. But make sure as well that you do your due diligence, you do your homework, and you do your research and figure out if this is something that you see yourself potentially doing. But that's all I had to share with you guys in today's video. This was my little experiment of running Enclomiphene for roughly 50 days. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this video, or you found something valuable out of this video. Like I said, I want to give one last warning. Only try these things or even explore the more extreme stuff only if you've already done every other thing you possibly could and you're still unhappy. But before you even make the commitment, make sure you do your due diligence. Consult some people and see if it's right for you. And then if it is, then by all means, go for it. Because like I said, in my experience, this shit has been pretty life-changing. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to go and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future video uploads. I want to thank you all for your recent love and support. It really means a lot. And I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.